Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another very special episode of English for Beginners, the podcast. I am so happy you're here. This is the place where learning English feels easy, calm, and friendly. I am Jasmine, and I will be your guide today as we explore the wonderful world of English grammar.
And I am Mark. Hello to all our listeners around the world. If you are listening to us right now, it means you have a goal. You want to improve your English step by step. That already makes you an amazing person. Learning a language is a long journey, and we are walking this journey together. You are never alone when you listen to English for Beginners, the podcast.
Today, we are talking about two words that beginners use every single day. Our topic is how to use can and could in English. These are small words, but they are very, very powerful. If you know how to use them, you can talk about your skills, ask for help, and make polite requests.
Ah, yes, can and could. These are called modal verbs by teachers, but for us, they are just tools for communication. Many beginners feel confused. They ask, Mark, when do I use can? Jasmine, when is it time to use could? It can feel like a puzzle with missing pieces.
It does feel that way sometimes, but don't worry. By the end of this episode of English for Beginners, the podcast, you will feel confident. You will feel like an expert. We are going to speak slowly, use clear words, and give you hundreds of examples. So find a comfortable chair, take a deep breath, and let's begin.
Let's start at the very beginning, Jasmine. What is the most basic meaning of the word can?
Great starting point, Mark. We use can in three main ways: ability, permission, and possibility. Let's spend a lot of time on the first one, ability. Ability simply means something you are able to do. It is a skill you have in your brain or your body right now. For example, I can speak English.
That is a perfect example. It's a fact about you. I can also say I can drive a car. I have my license, I know how to use the steering wheel, so I have the ability. What about things in the house? I can cook a delicious pasta dinner. I can use a computer to send emails. These are all abilities.
Exactly. It's about knowing how. Mark, let me ask you a few questions to test your abilities. Can you swim?
Yes, I can swim. I love the water. I go to the pool every Saturday. It's a skill I practiced for a long time. Now, let me ask you a funny one, Jasmine. Can you fly like a bird?
Oh, Mark, no. I definitely cannot fly. I am a human, not a bird.
That's okay. I can't fly either. Listeners, did you hear that? Jasmine said cannot, and I said can't. This is the negative form. When you do not have the ability, you say I cannot, or the short version, I can't. For example, I can't sing very well. My voice is not good for music.
I think your voice is great, Mark. But for me, I can't run very fast. If I tried to run a marathon, I will be very tired after 1 minute. So I say, I can't run a marathon. Now, listeners of English for Beginners, the podcast, it is your turn. I want you to say a sentence out loud right now. Finish this sentence. I can.
Give them a moment, Jasmine. Maybe they're saying I can speak English, or I can play the guitar. Whatever it is, say it with pride. Speaking out loud is the secret to success.
You are so right. Now, let's move to the second use of can. This is for permission. Permission is when you ask if it is okay to do something. It is very important for being social. For example, if you are in a library and you see an empty chair, you might ask the person next to it, "Can I sit here?"
That is a classic example. Or imagine you are at a friend's house and you are very thirsty. You could ask, "Can I have a glass of water?" You are asking if it is okay. In daily life, we use this constantly. Can I open the window? Can I use your phone for a minute?
It's very practical. Let's imagine a scene for our listeners. We're in a small cafe. I'm sitting at a table with my coffee. Mark, you walk in. What do you say?
I would walk up and say, "Hi, Jasmine. This cafe is busy. Can I sit here with you?"
And I would answer, of course, Mark. Yes, you can. See how easy that is? It's a simple, yes, you can, or no, I'm sorry, you can't. Teachers hear this a lot too. Students always ask, can I go to the bathroom? Or can I ask a question?
And the answer is almost always, yes, you can. Listeners, repeat this after me. Can I ask a question? Excellent. Now, Jasmine, what was the third use of can?
The third use is possibility. This is when we talk about things that are generally true or things that might happen. For example, it can be very cold in December. This means it is possible for the weather to be cold. Or learning a new language can be a challenge.
I agree. It can be a challenge. But as we always say on English for Beginners, the podcast, it can also be the best thing you ever do. It can open doors to new jobs and new friends.
Exactly. Now that we have mastered can, we need to talk about its brother, could. Mark, why do people get so confused about could?
I think it's because could lives in two different worlds. It lives in the past, but it also lives in the present when we want to be extra nice. Let's start with the past world. Could is the past tense of can. We use it to talk about abilities we had a long time ago.
Right. For example, when I was a little girl, maybe 5 years old, I could climb trees very easily. I was small and fast. Now I am older, and I think if I tried to climb a tree, I would fall down. So I could climb trees is about my past.
I have one like that. When I was a teenager, I could stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning playing video games and still feel great the next day. Now, if I stay up past 10 o'clock, I am so tired. So I say, when I was young, I could stay awake all night.
Those were the days, Mark. Listeners, think about your childhood. What is one thing you were able to do? Maybe you could speak a different language, or you could run very fast, or you could draw beautiful pictures. Try to say, when I was a child, I could.
That is a great exercise. But now let's move to the other world of could. This is the world of being polite. In the present moment, we use could to sound more respectful. Jasmine, can you explain the difference in feeling between can I and could I?
I would love to. Think of can as your friend word. You use it with your family, your best friends, and people you know well. It is direct. But could is your formal word. You use it with your boss, a stranger on the street, or a waiter in a restaurant.
Let's listen to the difference. If I say, "Can I have some coffee?" it's fine. But if I say, "Could I have some coffee, please?" it sounds much softer. It sounds like I am a very polite person.
It really does. Imagine you are at a job interview. You wouldn't say, can I sit down? You would say, could I sit here? It shows you have good manners. We also use could to make suggestions. A suggestion is just an idea you give to someone.
Like if we are hungry and we don't know what to eat, I might say, "Jasmine, we could order pizza tonight." I'm not saying we must do it. I'm just giving an idea.
That's a great idea, actually. Or if someone is struggling with English, I could say, you could listen to English for Beginners, the podcast, every morning. It is a helpful suggestion.
We also use could for things that are possible, but we are not 100% sure about them. If I look at the sky and see a few clouds, I might say, it could rain later. It is a guess. It is less certain than saying it can rain.
That is a very important point for beginners. Can is strong and certain. Could is soft and a bit uncertain. Let's do a quick comparison. If I say I can help you, it means I am definitely going to help. If I say I could help you, it sounds like I'm offering, but I'm waiting for you to say yes.
It's all about the feeling of the word. Now, Jasmine, I want to make sure our listeners don't make the most common mistakes. I see these mistakes all the time in my classes.
Oh, I know exactly which ones you mean. Let's fix them right now. Mistake number 1, adding the word to. Many students say I can to swim or I could to go. Mark, what is the rule?
The rule is simple. Never use to after can or could. You just put the action word, the verb, directly after. I can swim. I could go. She can dance. No to allowed.
Perfect. Mistake number 2, putting an S on the word for he or she. In English, we usually change the word for he or she, like he eats or she walks, but for can and could, we never change the word.
That's right. It is always he can, she can, it can. Never say he cans. That sounds like you are talking about cans of soup. And it's the same for could. She could, they could, we could. It stays the same for everyone.
It makes it much easier to remember, doesn't it? One word for everyone. Now, let's do a little practice. We're going to do a short dialogue replay. I want the listeners to hear how our names, Jasmine and Mark, work with these words in a natural way. Mark, I'm a bit confused about the schedule for our next recording. Can you help me?
Of course, Jasmine. I can help you right now. I have the schedule on my phone.
Thank you, Mark. Could you tell me if we are meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday?
We could meet on Tuesday at 10, or we could wait until Wednesday. Which do you prefer?
I think Tuesday is better. Can I bring my new microphone to test it?
Yes, Jasmine, you can. That would be a great idea.
Great. Could you please send me an email to remind me?
I certainly could. I will send it as soon as we finish here.
Did you hear that, listeners? We used can for simple questions and could when we wanted to be more polite or give suggestions. Mark, did you notice how natural it sounded?
It felt very natural, and that is the goal for everyone listening to English for Beginners, the podcast. We want you to stop thinking about grammar rules and start feeling the words.
Let's review the ability part one more time because it is so common. Mark, when you were a child, could you ride a bike?
Yes, I could. I remember the day my father took off the training wheels. I was so proud. I could ride very fast down the hill. Jasmine, could you play a musical instrument when you were in school?
I could play the piano a little bit. I wasn't great, but I could play a few simple songs. Now I have forgotten everything, so I can't play the piano today, but I could play it 15 years ago.
That is a perfect sentence to show the difference. I can't now, but I could then. Listeners, try to make a sentence like that. I couldn't speak English last year, but I can speak English now. Isn't that a great thought?
It's a wonderful thought. It shows progress. That is what English for Beginners, the podcast, is all about. Now, we are reaching the end of our long lesson. Let's do a final summary so everyone can remember the main points.
Good idea, Jasmine. I'll start. Point number 1. Use can for things you are able to do right now, like I can read. Use it for simple permission with friends, and use it for things that are generally possible.
Point number 2, use could when you talk about the past. If you had a skill yesterday or 10 years ago, use could. Also, use could when you want to be very polite to a stranger or a boss. It makes you sound like a professional.
Point number 3, use could to give ideas or suggestions. We could go to the park. And point number 4, never use the word to after can or could, and never add an S. Keep it simple.
Excellent summary, Mark. Before we go, we have a little homework for you. Don't worry, it's fun homework. We want you to go to the comments section of this video.
Yes, write one sentence using can and one sentence using could. For example, I can understand this podcast, and when I was younger, I could jump very high.
We promise to read your comments. We love seeing your progress. It makes us so happy to know that English for Beginners, the podcast, is helping you reach your dreams.
It really does. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. You have done a lot of hard work today listening to this long episode. You should be proud of yourself.
Absolutely. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and never give up. We believe in you more than you know.
Well said, Jasmine. I think it's time to say goodbye for today.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening to English for Beginners, the podcast. We will see you in the next episode.
Goodbye. Keep learning and stay positive. Bye-bye.